All right, y'all better be prepared to be ticked off because I'm irate after hearing about this story. It's absolutely unbelievable what this poor precious dog went through, and it's even more unreal to think that no one is going to suffer any consequences for this horrible abuse they put him through. So a severely burned Jack Russell Terrier puppy named Gideon captured hearts around the world after this incident. And people became irate after hearing about what happened to him. But despite this torture this poor creature went through, prosecutors are not pressing charges against the responsible party. So the Wayne County Prosecutor's Office in Michigan reportedly said yesterday on Friday, June 27th, that no one will be held responsible for the horrible injuries that Gideon suffered. He was placed into a tub of scalding hot water. This was in a home in Detroit. You can see how bad he was burned on the upper right side right here. This was during a heated family argument. The horrible incident reportedly began in the early hours of January 12th of this year. That was when a 19-year-old woman called 911 to report that her mother was drunk and antagonizing her, the daughter, at their home in Detroit. Officers arrived to the home and made the mom leave. They made her go across the street to her son's house. However, just a few hours later, the mom called 911, and this was to say that her puppy Gideon had been badly burned. Now, she said to begin with that she didn't witness what happened, but minutes later, she called back and said her daughter, the 19-year-old who originally called 911, had thrown her puppy in a tub of scalding hot water. It was said that by the time police arrived back to the home, the puppy Gideon was in very visible horrible distress, and he was suffering from burns on his legs and face. Officers eventually noted, though, that the mother that called had not directly witnessed the incident. Now, the 19-year-old daughter reportedly said or claimed that the dog had jumped into a bath that she had run earlier. No, he didn't. The 19-year-old daughter's boyfriend was reportedly upstairs at the time, and he confirmed that they heard the dog scream and then they pulled him out of the water. A 13-year-old sister who was there at the home at the time said that she heard Gideon screaming and crying and she saw him badly burned. However, that teen told police that Gideon was too small of a puppy to jump into the tub on his own. Exactly. According to court documents, a veterinary expert later looked over and examined Gideon and determined that the burn pattern on him did not match him jumping into the tub on his own. Instead, his injury suggested that he had been placed with his hind legs first into the scalding hot water and then remained there for several seconds or possibly even minutes. He was reportedly treated at a local veterinary hospital for 10 days and then transferred to a foster care home where he continued outpatient care. His injuries were very extensive. It was said he had third-degree burns, necrotic skin, bacterial infections, weight loss, extreme pain, and he even refused to walk because of how much pain that poor baby was in. But still, prosecutors said they can't determine beyond a reasonable doubt who hurt that poor baby dog. People are really upset about this, including the local animal group called DOG, the Detroit Animal Welfare Group. They are wondering how you could possibly not prosecute someone who did this, and they can't believe this is happening. This case has gotten attention worldwide, and it even caused a ton of protests seeking justice for Gideon. However, prosecutors are now saying that the evidence does not support charges that could uphold in court. Absolutely unreal. People are saying that the person responsible is a dangerous person that's now out on the streets, and if they would do that to an animal, they need to be behind bars, and I totally agree. The local prosecutors said that people are correct in the fact that this poor puppy suffered horrible abuse, but in every crime, they must be able to prove who did it, but they were not able to in this case. The decision not to prosecute has now outraged animal lovers all around the world, including me. His story has reportedly spread as far as the United Kingdom, Australia, and Africa. People are now confused because there is indeed a police report with the mom stating exactly what happened, and there is evidence of it. It was said more than 1,500 people showed up to support this sweet baby boy during a restaurant fundraiser. Others have sent gifts and letters from across the country. However, prosecutors are standing by their decision and said they can't prove anything. Unbelievable. The investigation reportedly began in late February and it continued early into this month in June, and it included interviews from several family members. Prosecutors said inconsistencies in the family's shared living arrangements raised concerns that the story was coordinated or made up. For now, this case is closed, but the outrage and anger that justice was not served is not closed, and people will continue to fight for justice. The system failed this poor dog, and this right here is why animal abuse happens so often. My prayers are definitely with this sweet baby boy that he continues to heal physically and mentally from all this abuse and trauma. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. For more true crime, be sure to follow and subscribe if you're over on YouTube.